Great day, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. How are you today? It's a great day for me. Let me take this banner off because I really don't care about people being apart. Let's see how many folks. I know it's early morning. You got things going on. Welcome in, everybody. All right. First and foremost, my name is Marion Afua. Some people know me by other names. I'm not going into those names. If you know, then you know. But one of the things is I'm a scholar and I am a preserver of African heritage, talks, and cultures. So for some people, they may be shocked to know that, but those that know me know. So welcome. I want to talk about something that I think is becoming a little bit less tolerant for me, and that is cultural appropriation in any form. I want to be very clear what cultural appropriation is, and I'm going to talk about it today. I belong to several groups. I belong to several organizations. I have friends of diverse backgrounds and ethnicities. Get ready to grab your underwear, grab your pearls, whatever you're going to do, because this conversation is not one that is going to be, as simple or as lighthearted as it normally is on Saturday mornings for the Saturday Set Down. As I said, this is a special edition. So let me just say this. Welcome to coming to the continent to participate in the cultures, to experience it, to learn about the cultures. If you find yourself wanting to stay there, that's even better. But ask yourself why. Why do you want to submerge yourself into this environment? What is it about being in the environment on the continent that pulls you? What is it about the people? What is it about their practices? What is it about their food that pulls you? I want today's conversation to be one that is rather reflective, guided, and supportive in bridging us together, because that is what it is. We're all human beings. But some experiences of us as individual human beings need not include you thinking that because you're in the room that you can do everything that we do, or that you can have everything that we have. And some of us need to understand that some things are not meant for company. When I was growing up, there were some things you put out when company came, and there were some things my mama put up when company came. There were some things that were said in front of company, and there were some things that was not said in front of company. I think we in a generation of people who have forgotten that. There have always been that group of people who just feel like, oh, let me just say and do whatever, no matter what. They're here with us. So today I want to talk about this whole thing of cultural appropriation. And again, you don't have to agree. You don't have to accept it. But I gotta speak it because this is who I be. This is who I be. Okay? That's what I said, who I be. All right, let's get started. So again, coming from this perspective, and I'll tell you as we go along, I'll tell you how the story unfolds. But I wanted to talk about cultural appropriation. So I looked it up because I wanted to make sure that I could present it in a way that was educational. So you're going to get a little bit of Dr. Marion, the instructor, and you're going to get a lot of Marion Afua, the healer, the seer, the priestess, all of that. You're going to get all of that, right? You're going to get that. Pastor, teacher, prophet, all of that stuff. All those names are going to come out today. Thank you for joining me. Let's talk about cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is when someone from a dominant or outside culture uses elements of another marginalized group's culture, such as their dress, symbols, language, rituals, art, without fully understanding, respecting, or honoring their original meaning, or doing it without permission. And I'm coming back to those words. I said it just the way it was said. So this could include something like wearing the sacred clothing or symbols that are indigenous to us, our galas, our beads, our bendays, I'm just telling you, our necklaces. Like, some people sell this shit in the market, but it's not really for you. It's sold in the market for the people who live there. It's not for you. We didn't put it out there for you. Profiting from the spiritual practices like selling hoodoo and Ifa and voodoo and Santeria practices, tools without being initiated, or even, that's another issue. Mimicking cultural dialects and traditions in a way that is mocking or trendy or careless. So there's also something called cultural colonization. And cultural colonization is a little different because now you're imposing your views or system onto another culture and then silencing the original holder. We know we experienced that. And then there's something called exploitation. When someone's culture, you're using my culture for a personal gain without giving credit, reparations, or access to the original people who created it. I told you today's conversation is not for the lighthearted. It's not for those who are coming to take. It's not for those who want to just keep, being a foo-foo, everything is fairy tale world, right? Today is given for a reason. I'm doing this for a reason today. I want to go back to something I said earlier, the words understanding and the word permission. As I said, it is beautiful when people travel the world. I travel all the time and I go into all type of places. I've been to, I don't know, a lot of places, right? I've been to a lot of places. I'm here now someplace and I'm hitting like 6 different places over the next 2 months. So I get it. When you go there, you get excited, you see it, you feel something. But I have to remember, even though I may have a connection or an awareness, I am not a part of that experience. So I have to be mindful and very careful how I integrate myself, how I make assumptions, how I presume that I can say and do things, or that I understand because I have a shared knowledge. That's very, very common with people when they come traveling. So that's what I meant. And permission. I may allow you to come and see, for instance, I can take it back. I do retreats. So I also do like yoni steams, and I also do something called the ancestral journey and healing. That is a very private thing because there are things that come out and people are put in positions where I really don't want people gawking with a camera. And I don't think that's fair to the person. It's not respectful to the things that might be shown or done, because it is an ancestral healing process. So one time I was featured in a magazine for my retreats, and the person said, "Oh, you're about to go in." I said, "Well, you can't be in that part. We let you walk around and see us doing some of the teachings. We let you see us doing some of the other activities. But this is a sacred process that I will not allow you to video record, but you can sit in and experience it." And the person said, "Well, can I tap into my ancestors?" I said, "Of course." So the person did. They went through the experience, and then they wrote about it from that perspective. They wrote about it from that perspective. But they didn't say, "Oh, now I'm officially able to go." No. That's a whole different level of conversation. And some of us need to learn that. See, you got to realize, being a gatekeeper, you need to be you need to hold the gate. A gatekeeper is at the gate to make sure the right people get in and the right people get out. And that is safe and that is good. So don't think when you get told you're a gatekeeper, don't feel guilty because somebody said, "Oh, you gatekeeping." A lot of our African spirituality is based upon our ethnic cultures, heritage, and cosmology. It has nothing to do with anybody else. So we must be very careful how we let people come and put on our cowrie shells and wear them. I forget the singer that was wearing them, or some group. I forget that. There was a big issue about that. Oh, they're just trinkets. No, they're not trinkets. They're not trinket. They have a cultural heritage background. Cowrie shells were once one of our mainstays for currency. It also is used a lot in spiritual practices and rituals. So it's just not something you just pick up and wear because it's cute. It is an acknowledgement of your heritage. It is an acknowledgement. It is an acknowledgement. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm being calm today because I don't want it to become something that is thank you, dear, that is misguided, because I'm very serious about this conversation today. So let me be clear, because too many people have confused or conveniently chose to ignore these facts. So everyone has ancestors. It is true that everyone has spirit inside of them. It is true that everyone's breath is from the divine, given. But that does not mean that you get to use my cultural practices, my sacred tools, or my ancestral technologies to venerate your own lineage. And why would that work? Then again, that's why I wanted to say cultural colonization and cultural appropriation. What you're doing then, when you start doing that, that's called spiritual theft. That's a form of theft. Hoodoo, Ifa, Lacrume, Santeria, Voodoo, they are all spiritual options. But these are part of our survival code to hold on to that which is innately within our DNA, within our experience, our lineage as Black African descended people who experience things, for us to keep that for us to keep that ancestral memory. It's not a joke. For our ancestors to be enslaved, to be colonized, to be tortured, to be silenced, to be living in fear, to even remember to pass it down. What makes you think you have a right because you feel like, oh, this is something nice? How dare you? And yet, through all of what we went through, all of what they went through, they still found ways to speak to the divine through all of that darkness, through all of those restraints. This is why I'm having this conversation today. Our ancestors had to hide their tools in the ground just so that we could find them centuries later. They had to mislabel things and whisper things and use coding. And you think you can just now go and buy it online and then resell it back to us? Throw it around your neck like a necklace, like it's just some trinket off the floor? This is an ancestral honor. You, my friends, are doing entitlement. And again, that is spiritual colonization. So, to the white man, who I made sure was not indigenous, and I'll address those groups too, indigenous people to this land, to the land called America, the Latin cousins that we have, I will address y'all later. But specifically right now, I'm talking up to the white man who says he is from Germany, that was wearing leckes and cowrie shells and talking about he's a high priestess and all this stuff. No, sir. No, sir. He's a hoodoo practitioner. He's a voodoo priest. He named like 9 different things, and he's walking around with it. I'm not aware of how he got it or why he has it. It's not my monkey, not my show. But really? Oh, I was called to this. I feel like I was called to this. No, I'm going to help y'all out. We all get lost. We all have journeys of transformation. We all have moments when we want something to grab hold to pull us out. I understand that. I understand it. That's what I do for a living. I support all people in getting back into their wholeness. The difference is that I don't cross over to people's boundaries. I can come into your space and I can support you in having your transformation, in having your alchemic process, in having your ancestral reconnection and accessing those messages for anyone. But this process is not for you. Let us take some time and do a deep dive. Let you do a deep dive and go back into your particular ethnicity, your particular culture, your particular geographic location, and let's find out. Because I have been in Europe, I have been in Asia. I've seen it. It's there. The culture is there. You all have a non-traditional spiritual religion or process, a non-religious spiritual process. You may say spirit led you here, maybe. Or was it your ego or your subconscious need to be in control, to know all, to have access, to not be denied anything? This is what we mean when we say you have privilege. There's even the best of you have that deep down inside where I need to know, I should be included, I shouldn't be excluded. We have a right to privacy. And unfortunately, we haven't had the chance to exercise it at the level that everyone else has. So you don't get to wear my survival like it's jewelry. You don't get to use our spiritual cosmology and pantheons like they're hashtags. This is not a soul buffet. This is rooted in ancestral work. Bloodline work. Before anybody comes trying to twist my words, I'm not talking about my cousins, the Afro-Cubans, the Afro-Brazilians, the Afro-Colombians, the Afro-Dominicans, the Afro-Haitians, and all the other diasporic groups who've held these traditions under colonization, Catholic synchronism, and brutality, just like we did. I'm not talking about y'all. I ain't talking about y'all. They are still a part of us. We are them. Our rhythms are braided together through the bloods of this ocean. Santeria, Komurumbe, Voodoo, Palo, Lacrume. These are all sacred lineages preserved, by Black hands in Spain, Portugal. They were not whitewashed. They are not new age. They are still the same lineage. Just like if siblings have children, just like the Abrahamic religions, they all come from Abraham, but they all are different. So when I speak of protecting our traditions, I'm talking about keeping it with the people who paid, who kept the memory. Those who want to who collect it, not those who want to collect it like it's souvenirs. It's just an experience. Oh no, but I'm really sincere. I've really studied. When I saw it, I felt something. You should feel something. It's a spiritual experience. You should, if you are tuned into, you will feel spirit because spirit is in you. Your breath is the spirit. So you would feel it. It is powerful. You can't just strip the orishas and forget about where they come from, or the lawa. You can't just light candles and skip the lineage. You can't create fancy botes or sopas or sopinias or altars and skip the consequences. So no. Today, as I always say, it's not always about love and light. It's about ancestral equity. It's not about erasing the culture. the DNA of our practices to make them palatable for people who've never had to hide the sacred things just to stay alive, the memories that connected them to peoples whose voices they no longer heard, places they can no longer remember, smells they can no longer smell, thoughts that must be silenced only in your head, never to be spoken. So yes, I honor my Black African descended people from throughout the Americas. Those who fought to keep the traditions breathing in Cuba, Brazil, Haiti, Colombia, Trinidad, Puerto Rico, in the Carolinas, in the Delta, wherever we are. I'm telling you, I appreciate you and I'm thankful for you. So I'm not talking about you. I get it. And don't come telling me, well, I'm mixed race. What do I do? You'll know. And if you don't, book a session with me and I'll support you. But right now, I'm focusing on this. I want us to get clear. I'm tired of standing by and watching people. Oh, I joined this group. What do you mean? And then it's always one of us. Oh, well, it's spiritual. Do you understand? No, this is not meditation, which is for everyone. Chanting for everyone. Are you kidding me? You're going to just keep, oh, well, let's just keep letting them in. We have to set boundaries. If you feel drawn to these traditions and you know they are not your traditions, pause and ask the following 3 things. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate you. Ask yourself these 3 questions. Am I looking to belong or trying to consume? Have I done my own ancestral healing and journey? Am I in proximity to power or purpose? Because then if you listen to that, you'll know that it's not your job to sit in on our ceremonies, to wear our beads, to use our expressions of our orishas, our lawa. It is not your job. But it is your job to stop colonizing everything sacred just because you're curious or because you want to have a memory. And to our Black practitioners, hear me too, because you're guilty of this. Okay? Some of us are guilty of this too. Our responsibility is to protect the gates. Our responsibility is to protect the gates. To protect. Y'all don't understand. This is very personal to me. Very personal to me. Very personal to me. So when I'm telling you, stop letting people come into your house. As I said, when I was growing up, my mother said, some things you don't pull out when company come. Some things you don't say in front of company. You can give them a plate of food, but you don't show them where the stash is. They can use the bathroom, but they don't go in your bedroom. Some of us practitioners, Black practitioners, are sitting up here not want to be a gatekeeper because you want to get along. But you killing us again. You buying into the process that's killing us off, that's disrespected, and you wonder why your elbow is not working, why your offerings are not working, why your prayers are not working. It's because you have insulted your ancestors and your lineage. You've insulted God who gave you this. It is our responsibility to protect these gates. We cannot keep leaving them open or just letting anybody in, because we are the gatekeepers. because we are the descendants of those that kept it alive in their bodies. We take this for granted. We take it for granted because we want to wear white. We take it for granted because we want to wear leggings. We take it for granted that we can tell somebody, use a couple of words, but it's deeper than that. So stop selling our power. Stop selling our magic. Stop selling our sales all over again. Stop offering classes and traditions that are meant to be transmitted. Not just monetized, but transmitted to those that need to be regrounded, recalibrated, pulled into it. Stop confusing popularity with priesthood. If you not of this lineage, here's what you can do. You can study about the traditions, but don't put yourself in them. Find the sacred threads of your own ancestry. Celtic, Norse, Slavic, Baltic, Romanian, Roma, etc. Dig deep into your own stuff. There's medicine in your stuff too. You got medicine, you got power, you got healing too. Go get it. Understand that this is not, all spiritual systems are not for everyone. And that's okay. Because if you practice humility and you practice listening, your practice is going to back it up. But I said what I said. I serve spirit. But I don't serve silence. And I will not keep watching people appropriate, give out, disrespect, disregard our ancestral systems, or allow them to be swallowed up and turned into a trend based on ego or some TikTok moment. It just ain't yours to use, y'all. And if you don't like it, if you choose to ignore it, that's fine. But don't also vilify it. Don't vilify it. If it ain't free, if you don't feel like you want to acknowledge that, then don't vilify it. Hey, everybody. Yes, of course you can ask a question. Go for it. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem or a challenge, but I do know this. Something has to change. I speak to my people that's Christians too, right? Nothing says you can't recognize your ancestors. You recognize in Jesus. Jesus is an ancestor. He once was physically on this earth. And if you keep talking to him and calling on his name, you're venerating him. If you got a cross in your house, you're venerating him. I told y'all this is a very different Saturday sit down on Spiritually Speaking. Don't get it twisted. I advise you, sit down, go back, revisit this video, please. You can share it out. I'm not scared of nobody. I'm not worried about no thing or no one. Stop letting people box you in. Stop letting people box you in and make you feel some type of way about yourself. How you gonna tell me I'm wrong for remembering my grandparents or my great grandparents, 3 times removed grandparents who fought and got free before the Civil War and purchased 250 acres and maintained it to this day? We still own that land. How you gonna tell me not to acknowledge them? And I'm here making sure that I'm independent in my living. How you gonna tell me that that that's evil. How you gonna tell me that I shouldn't call upon you? You can call upon, you can pray to an angel, but you won't pray to the Orisha or the Lawa who are you kidding me? It's not praying. You are centering yourself to align your higher self with that which is already in you, and you're focusing. It's a focus point. It's a focus point. You're not worshiping anybody. That's the other thing, this language that we use. Let me calm down. This language that we use has us confused. Oh, you worship an ancestor. No, we don't worship our ancestors. We remember them. We recognize them. We honor them. And we believe that because they are back fully holy on the spirit side, that they will whisper in our ear and they will give us guidance. And we are grateful that they lived long enough to produce somebody, to produce somebody, to produce somebody, to produce me. And then we pray for their souls because we want them to release whatever savagery that they experienced, so they can truly be free in the spirit realm. And then we use their lives as examples on how not to make that same mistake. We're the only people who don't want to celebrate our ancestors. We're the only ones that don't want to celebrate our ancestors. They so evil. Yep. Let me see. I've been having lower back pain since the start of June. Okay, your back pain is muscular. Also, it also is not just physical. You also got some spiritual stuff going on too. If you want to contact me afterwards, I didn't put up my thing because I really wasn't going to do anything of this. If you can just inbox me and we can set up an appointment. But it's not just physical for you. They're telling me, initially when I first saw it, I could see something with your kidneys, but then I'm also seeing that there is, like you got the weight, some emotional weight around you. And as women, we carry that around it falls down into our hips. So we can talk about some movements you can do, and we can talk about some drinks you can do, some natural herbal drinks that can help you flush out, and also maybe a little bit of spiritual moving of energy too. All right. All right. Thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate you for listening. But again, a closed practice is simply hoodoo is closed. Okay. It's closed. Ifa. Everybody got spirit. Everybody got ancestors. So yes, you can access your own, but don't use our traditions, our processes to access your stuff. Don't go grabbing our fabrics, our galas, our lekes, our necklaces, our artifacts that we use culturally and put it in your house because you think it's cute. Or you want to start lighting candles up for Legba and for Oshun and what? Who are the ones for you? Because I know, I can tell you as an anthropologist, truly, I told you I traveled the world and I studied hard and long because I wanted to get this thing right. You must be authentic in everything you do. Your beliefs create the frameworks for your reality. The embodiment of your manifestations, of the fruition of your destiny path, your original assignment is predated anything else. It's attached to you and your lineage. Everything is available, but some things are not for you. They belong to other people. And so it's just for us to acknowledge them. When you walk past a garden and it's not your garden, you don't just stop and go on somebody's gate and start pulling up flowers because you want a bouquet. That's what I'm asking you not to do. All right. Thank you for joining me here on today, this special edition of the Saturday Set Down, Spiritually Speaking with Sister Afua version. And if you have any questions or comments, I would love to see them down below. But I said what I said, and it's still a great day. Until next time, remember that when things begin to cloud your way, make you feel like you just can't go on, stop and scream out nice and loud. That's not my reality. And know that it's only a dream until you start to believe it. Take care.